Welcome everybody to WHS505 Investigate WHS Assessment 2. Just some general housekeeping. This session will be recorded and then uploaded to YouTube. Make sure you check into the chat box. There you can type in your student TAFE ID and your first name. The reasons for this is that we can enter into the system that you attended the session. Any questions you may have during the session, please type them into the chat box and we'll answer them either at the end of the session or in one-on-one tutorials by phone. Today we'll be discussing Assessment 2, which is the culmination of your preparation and Assessment 1. Here is where all that thorough preparation pays off, where all your research that went into assessment delivers on enabling you to present a professional report. Just as in real life as the WHS professional, it will deliver a safer working environment. Assessment 2 is based around this professional report. A cover page on its own, which clearly identifies your name, the assessment you are writing the report for, and your student number. Table of contents is important, especially by having page numbers. This is a roadmap that takes the reader through your report. The executive summary should include a brief description of the report content, aims, objectives, findings, list of any limitations or barriers experienced, a brief list of recommendations with reference to attached action plan, and WHS references, and of course your conclusion. The introduction gives a description of the workplace, the environment, the background to the incident, description of the range of resources used, and provide in an attached to your report interviews, statements, photograph, and sketches. The main body of the report includes 3 key headings from Assessment 1. Respond to the incident, planning, conducting the investigation, details and outcomes of root cause analysis. Recommendations to include corrective actions, interventions, and practical measures to prevent reoccurrence of the incident or injury and to address the root causes. Your conclusion will be a summary of the report content, summary of key findings, references to the legislation, and supporting your recommendations, listing any barriers that occurred during the investigation and highlighting the benefits of taking action on your recommendations. Finally, your portfolio, which is the whole of your Assessment 1, plus a bibliography. Details to consider when setting out your report. Here's where the hard work from Assessment 1 pays off. Identify and comment on your organisation's policies, procedures, legal requirements in the management of WHS, and a flowchart or investigation plan. The approach required to investigate a workplace incident. This will include pre-incident working conditions, systems, processes being used, instruction, training, supervision of the persons involved, workplace conditions and contributing factors at the time of the incident. Check maintenance records of plant equipment involved in the incident. Check workplace safety data and previous incident records and any other factors. Identify, address, and document barriers to the investigation. Details to consider when setting up your report. Conduct a systematic analysis of the incident to identify underlying causes. In other words, root cause analysis. Establish the facts by covering who, what, when, why, where, and how. This should include allocating of the investigation team members' roles and activities, tasks, and research and technical assistance that they will contribute. Collect all relevant information and data into a portfolio and attach as an appendice to your investigation report. Construct timelines of events leading up to and immediately after the incident. Conduct interviews with injured persons, witnesses, and supervisors. Seek technical expertise, advice if required. Consider environmental, work processes, and behavioural components. Analyse information and data gathered to identify immediate and underlying causes and possible controls to prevent the incident reoccurring. Identify, address, and document barriers during the investigation. Action plan. These are the headings that should be in your action plan. Objectives. Statement covering the WHS legislation compliance requirements and how this action plan will reduce workplace injuries, illnesses, or fatalities. Contributing factors. List all contributing factors identified from root cause analysis. Keep in mind the incidents and injuries caused are determined by persons, material, management systems, machine and plant, methods, and the environment. Potential risk. Use a risk matrix to assess the likelihood and consequences of the incident happening prior to any corrective actions, and enter the corresponding risk ranking. Then assess the potential risk, always using the worst case scenario. Propose corrective actions. List corrective actions required in line with your recommendations to address each contributing factor, considering the 6 key elements of 4804 of commitment and policy, planning, implementation, measurement and evaluation, and review and improve. Persons responsible. Assign a person or persons responsible for developing and implementing each of the corrective actions. These persons need to have a management position, and it's a good idea to attach each names for these people. By when? assigning dates for short and long-term corrective actions, commencement, review, and conclusion. This is important. This holds people accountable for delivering on what they've been given as their responsibilities. Residual risk. Use the risk matrix to assess the likelihood and consequences of the incident happening after the corrective actions have been put in place, and enter corresponding risk ranking. Include a risk management matrix at the end of the action plan. Make sure that your knowledge of any documentation that has been used has already been established and used, e.g., a WHS incident report template. Finally, the portfolio. The portfolio would include incident report form, investigation plan or flowchart, checklists, photographs, sketches, graphs, diagrams, witness statements. Your bibliography should contain at least 10 resources. Going forward with future units and assessments, this is a strategy that you should adopt, built on thorough research, attention to detail in each assessment, that will enable you to deliver a professional report. Now here we come to the most important slide. This should become your mantra. When in doubt, ring or email a WHS teacher. Are there any questions? With there being none, thanks for coming. See you next time.